So yesterday, the big news, obviously, John Bolton was fired, / John Bolton resigned, / we really have no idea why or how John Bolton left, but we should all actually just be happy that John Bolton is gone. I mean, the chances of the U.S. getting into a war with Iran or Venezuela at this point just dropped by a few percentage points. They're not completely gone, but with John Bolton not in there, the chances of them happening did drop slightly. So yes, we should take that as a victory. Which makes it even weirder to see people like Nancy Pelosi saying, oh my God, John Bolton's departure shows what disarray this is in. We need to have a function. No, stop. Just stop. We don't need John Bolton in the federal government at all, ever again, ever, in the history of ever. John Bolton is a war hawk who wants to go bomb other countries. There is no way to spin this as a bad thing. But don't worry, folks, Nancy Pelosi and some of the other Democrats who are so sad to see John Bolton leave, they're not the only ones. Apparently Ted Cruz was also very sad to see his good buddy John Bolton leave, and Ted Cruz smells a rat that resides within the deep state. Here is what Ted Cruz had to say in a series of tweets yesterday after it was announced that John Bolton was leaving. John Bolton is a friend, and he has devoted his life to defending our national security, including providing wise counsel to multiple administrations. I sincerely hope his leaving the White House does not mean that the deep state forces at State and Treasury, who have been fighting tooth and nail to preserve the Obama-Iran nuclear deal, have finally convinced the president to go soft on Iran. That's right, folks. It's the deep state. The deep state ousted John Bolton because they want peace on the planet. Now, I don't know that the deep state actually exists in the way that Republicans like to think it exists, but if the deep state does exist and their goal is to not have war across the planet, wouldn't that be a good thing, right? I kind of like that incarnation of the deep state. I could get behind that plan. But as Ted Cruz pointed out in one of his own tweets, John Bolton has served multiple different presidential administrations. He has worked in the DOJ, he's worked in the White House, he's worked in the intelligence community. John Bolton is the deep state, Ted. John Bolton, whether it was his work with the government, whether it was his work with the American Enterprise Institute, the Project for a New American Century that he was a part of, or whether it was just him practicing law at Covington and Burling, Kirkland and Ellis representing defense contractors, John Bolton has been a part of the deep state since at least the 1980s, Ted. But for some reason, you think that same deep state that he is a part of, hell, part of the deep state he helped create with PNAC, are now ousting him because suddenly they want peace across the planet. That's what the deep state wants, according to Ted Cruz, and that, by God, would just be the worst thing imaginable to a guy like Ted Cruz. There should be no tears shed for John Bolton's departure. There should be no happiness that maybe he'll find a new job. No. John Bolton is a piece of crap. And John Bolton should be shunned from civilized society because of all of the warmongering and damage that he has caused across the planet. One of our video sponsors today is Impeach, the card slap game, which you can purchase using the links at the top of the description of this video. And when you check out, use code RINGOFFIRE, all one word, to get 10% off your order. Now, Impeach, the card slap game, is perfect for anybody who is not only tired of the Trump administration, but who also wants to share a little bit of information about Trump with your friends, because not only is this a fun game to play at parties, the cards actually have direct quotes from the president himself and stats about his presidency and his policies. So not only can you have a lot of fun with your friends playing the game, you actually learn something from it as well. The reviews on both Amazon and Etsy are phenomenal for this product. People love it. And part of the fun of it is that you finally get to actually slap Donald Trump. Something a lot of our viewers, I'm pretty sure, have thought about, except now you can do it in the comfort of your own home around your friends. So again, follow the links at the top of the description of this video and use code RINGOFFIRE to get 10% off your order of Impeach the Card Slap game.